Hi everyone, this is Susie from Minnesota Zone 4, and here's an update of all my pots, and it is mid-July. And these are all the sun patiens, and they are doing so wonderfully. I cannot say enough about this flower. So if you can get sun patiens, this is the electric orange. I think they also have one that comes in a fuchsia color. They are so easy to grow, and they form they're so nice and shaped. They don't go all over the place. They stand up to earwigs. Earwigs are in there, but they don't seem to damage anything on them, so I don't know what it is about them that they don't like. Purple fountain grass, I think this just looks really neat in here. That's doing really well. There's times at night that the sun starts to hit this when it's going down that it kind of looks like this is on fire here. Definitely stands out. There's nothing subtle about this area. And then you can see my sweet potato vines. The earwigs do tend to like this one. There is some damage in there. And again, right there is a really damaged leaf, but I leave that because sometimes I think they tend to chew on the more damaged ones than the others, because you can see other ones look really good. That's the newer growth. My coleus, I probably should trim that now, especially if they're talking storms, because that will kind of flop. But I love how it's adding some more color to it. This grass is definitely an aggressive grower. Loves the heat, absolutely loves the heat, but I love that height interest. And then this is just a geranium that I'm pretty much growing just for the foliage. And I think this is all new growth right here because it hasn't turned yet. It looks like there's some on this one right here. And then every now and then I get a flower head. They're bright orange. And then I have one over here. So I leave it, see what it does. But mainly I just like this for the foliage. I think this is a really nice combo. You really can't see the pot at all. Again, I worry about storms because the grass kind of tends to get knocked over. It does perk back up. Purple heart looks really good. It's kind of starting to take over everything. I'm just going to let it. Again, no earwig damage on this. It likes this coleus though. You can see, but this looks really good. This is all new growth here, and that doesn't seem to be damaged as much. I mean, you can see on this orange one or rust colored one, there is, but the new growth looks really good. Coleus loves the hot weather, so it'll start growing fast. Lemon coral sedum. It's just amazing. It's like a blanket of lime green. Again, I love touching this. It is just so spongy. You can see that sweet potato vine has kind of found its way up into there. That is not a different one. It just kind of worked its way up. Portulaca looks really good. I think the earwigs kind of like the petals of this because you'll see a little damage on the outside, but still really great color. This looks good. This looks really awesome. I kind of figured out how to water this. And that's key. All of this kind of in the middle here likes it drier, like the ivy geranium, they like to dry out and then get watered. Okay, what would chew that off? Out you go. But I know like the canna here likes a lot of water, so what I do is I water the top pot really heavily, and I figure whatever drains will drain into there, and so far it's been working. Then my ivy geraniums, they did pop back, took a little bit for another flush of blooms, but finally I did get some. I thought it was just going to be a foliage container. Love the purple potato vine. These tend to close up at night, the portulaca, and they like day sun, so yeah, I think that's a lot of damage from earwigs. Those little buggers. And we'll stand back so you can kind of get the whole, as long as the sun doesn't hit. That is just so lush. That purple potato vine is just really pretty in there. Love that color. My cannas have had a lot of flower heads on. The only thing, they just get so heavy that they tend to weigh it down, so I end up cutting it. They are red, so it's works a little bit, but there is some red in here, but for the most part they don't last long because the wind usually starts blowing it over and I cut it. I just like it for the foliage. Let's see, my bougainvillea. I'm gonna have to try and figure. I've cut some. This is new growth here, so hopefully I can get some new flowers. Just kind of leaving it. I've been trimming it up a little bit to see how it's gonna work, but first year for growing it. Otherwise, I'm not too sure on how to grow it. Ooh, it's a warm one. My black-eyed Susan vine has just been kind of going all over. It had a bunch of blooms yesterday, so unfortunately when I want to film there's nothing. But you can see it's happy, and somehow it kind of crawled in back of that twine in there. That's kind of cool. It's made itself a happy little home. The purple color there, I forgot what it's called, the purple foliage, that's doing really good. It's liking this heat. That is loving it. I think this is starting to vine though. Did not realize it was going to be a viner, because you can see this right here. So I'm going to have 2 viners on here. Dun dun dun. Let's see which one takes over. My osteospermum. I'll back up. I'm kind of close to this. Very sunny here right now, so hopefully you can see this. Just kind of. Osteospermum was looking great about a week ago. It was just, I think I trimmed off about 300 dead blooms. I still have a few to trim off, but you can see it's starting to get a new flush here, so it'll be a little bit. Ivy geranium is absolutely loving this spot. Look at how amazing that is. That's just 2 plants in there. And then you have the lemon coral sedum that's just growing amongst everything. One happy family. The only thing that, unfortunately, it's still in there, but really, I probably should pull it, was that coleus. And I know I had that cold spell that kind of took its toll on it, but then the earwigs kind of finished off what was growing. I mean, there's a little one in there, but I don't think there's just kind of a stalk in there somewhere. So yes, those earwigs are annoying. Sweet potato vine. The verbena, been trimming that up. That is one that loves to be deadheaded and then just comes back even more lush and fuller. I love verbena. And again, the bees love it and the hummingbirds love it, seeing that. My coral geranium, that's finally looking good. I can actually see the leaves popping through. I think that I have calibrachoa in here, which is all this stuff. And I had cut that back. And it's not blooming anymore. I think I've told you last year, I've had no luck with calibrachoa. It just does not work for me. It doesn't perform. I honestly think that the earwigs took care of it, because at one point, all of a sudden, all the blooms are gone at once, and that doesn't happen with the flower. So to me, it was bug damage, and it's not growing. So I'm definitely never doing calibrachoa again. Nothing against the plant. Other people have luck with it, but with my situation with earwigs, I think that's the cause. But this sweet potato vine is just massive. Gara, that looks really cool. I love the foliage on it, and cutting off a lot of the dead blooms. I'm going to show you over here. this side looks like. Oh, that sun is so bright and so hot. This is kind of my new thing. I had some different pots ordered and they got lost, so I had to go and buy some of these. I've been just experimenting because these are just wave petunias and they looked really bad, really leggy. Trimmed them up. I'm just going to see. This is butterfly flower something. So that looked really tough. Just going to see what happens if you can rejuvenate plants to look really good. It doesn't look bad, but it is a little raggy. Not what it should look like. Two of the same that are planted, and I mean the plants were all on clearance too. So, and then the extras are in here. Definitely have to water it. Again, I didn't cut any of those back. This pot looks really good. Sweet potato vine with some sweet alyssum in there, and the coral coral geranium. Love that. This one's doing a lot better, but this has a lot of room to grow. And then the papyrus grass. That's why I love having a stake in there to show me how fast it can grow, because it was all even with that bird. And now it's up there. This has turned out really well. I'm very happy with that container. Whew, it is hot. I know I keep saying that, but woof. I'll be getting into some shade here, so thank goodness. Supertunia latte. I have only one plant in this little hanging pot, and it is just loving its life. I think that might be the way to go, is just less crowding, because that's just amazing for one plant. Then in here I have some gazanias. Earwigs seem to like that too. Some petunias, purple, yellow, and then also there's that butterfly flower there. There's a type, I think a salvia in here. I trimmed everything off. It's getting a new flower head right there. But looks really nice. My pink grass looks good here, offers a little color. And then this container here looks amazing. I'm glad I moved it. The color actually came back on the coleus. It was getting bleached in that other area. Alabama sunset, I want to say. This is, wow, one plant of that. One of the red one, I think that's big red, I think. And then back here, I have a canna. And I'm just going to let it go. I think what I'm going to do is just dig it up, store it, and probably just plant it on its own next year if I can save it. My little cat planter down here in amongst the daylily. I think that's like a little succulent of some sort. I think it's called goldfish or goldfish something. I forget. Okay, on to, hopefully I'm not walking too fast. Just my coleus planter. I've been pinching it to kind of keep it in check. That curly leaf one is so pretty. Not amazing, but I love the color. My begonia. I'm not sure if I'm liking it just because there's more green than yellow. I thought there'd be more blooms. I mean, they're in there, but it's just kind of, I probably should have done something a little more pop, because I've got a sea of green in here. And come from this area, and there I have Creeping Jenny and Electric Orange Sun Patient. That Creeping Jenny is gorgeous. Just love how that cascades. That's just amazing. I only have 2 plants in there of the Creeping Jenny. I'll get to the back and see if I can. You can definitely tell that it gets more sun on this side than on the right side. I mean, it's getting it now, but this is so lush. Or maybe it gets less. Maybe it likes less sun. Who knows? sweet potato vine, and these leaves are huge. Look at, compared to my hand, I've never had them get that big. Some damage, but all in all not too bad. Dipped in wine coleus along with a black elephant ear. This looks really good, considering that the coleus was bigger than the elephant ear. Took it a bit. And look at this one. Again, I love the heart shape too. And then back here is that one coleus that had broke off and I re-rooted it, and that looks like it's doing really good. I could probably pinch a bunch of these off for some bushier growth. And probably wouldn't be such a bad idea when could be getting a storm. And Trevor, what can I say about Trevor? He's gone. So that is the size of that leaf, elephant ear. That is amazing. And then, there he is again. This is the biggest one. Look. I think this is the Thailand giant. That is huge. I'm like, I have to back up for this one. He's gone again. But yeah, I have to go in here and show you how big this stalk is. I don't know if you can see. I don't want to really step in here. I can right there. Look at that. That is gigantic. It worries me though too with storms, because something that big has a tendency to snap off. Okay, let me get back out here. I hate walking in my garden if I don't have to. I don't like to compact the soil. But another elephant ear. This is the latest. Again, this is a shiny. I don't know if you can see that in the camera. Let's see. Nope, that feels wet enough still. I figure if the top is still wet, it's got to be wet on bottom. I don't want to overwater either, because I don't want things to start rotting off. I love that, how that has a shine to it, but then this one in this container is very matte. So many different types of elephant ears. I'll probably be one of those people that'll be collecting all of them too, because I love foliage. A begonia, was it? Oops, got a lot of leaves in there too. Like a Rex begonia. And then purple coleus, but you can see earwigs, earwigs, earwigs. They're the bane of my existence, but nice ivy. I love that color, the creaminess. Oh, I didn't know that it gets a flower on it. Huh. Alright, not that significant, but let me see. It's kind of poking. There we go. Sorry again. Alright. Wandering Jew. This loves it here, again with a different kind of sweet potato vine. And dipped in wine. Again, I think I might pinch this too. Let's see if I can do this, so I don't have to try and scoop by a pine tree. I have to water this one probably every day. It just gets a lot more sun than the rest. Look at how it just drapes. And the earwigs do not mind creeping Jenny, so maybe next year I'll plant that a little bit more in some pots. Probably not anywhere that it can root itself, because that is an aggressive grower. Nice ground cover. I pull it where I don't want it. Better walk a little bit faster. So far, not one mosquito. My pot of coleus, two different kind of orange ones. Sorry, I wish it was prettier. I got a lot of holes, but At least the color is pretty. This Wandering Jew, for planting it late, look at that. And then I didn't, if you can see it in the camera, how it gets a sheen texture to it. That is, look at that. And it's just kind of like, I don't know, really neat. It loves it here. Look at how that has grown. I cannot say enough about Wandering Jews. The Henna Coleus is what this is, gorgeous. I love the underside, the top. This is one plant in here. Definitely have to figure out how I'm going to plant this in some other containers next year. And this isn't a really big pot either. It's maybe, I would say 10, 12 inch, not even. It looks great. I think this is another plant. Last year I said I was having issues. It died on me. I honestly think the earwigs just go to town on this. That is one bloom here. Others, it was doing amazing, and it even looks like it has some damage. I'm sure if I looked in there, I would probably see an earwig. I'm going to leave it. It still looks healthy. Maybe at some point the earwigs will start to peter out, or hopefully the birds start doing their job and eating them. I was told that if they do like them, but yet they're horrible. Begonia, that is so pretty. And then I love this coleus. It looks like little hearts. So this will probably be moved once I cut back that bleeding heart. But it does look really good here too. Another type of Wandering Jew. And this has a little shiny texture to it too. That is just thick in there. That's, what a grower. Let's see. Oh yeah, and the underside is purple. How cool is that? And then for some reason, that Tahitian bridal veil hitched a ride. So I'm just gonna let it go. It's so dainty looking. And my deer is looking happy. I'm coming over here. This is my pot on the side. And the Wandering Jew looks great, along with everything else. I barely have to water this. This is pretty much a plant and leave it be, and I think it's just because they're all a houseplant mixture and they don't take a lot of watering. That looks pretty good. This is the elephant ear that I planted. You can see this is the first leaf down there that I need to trim off. Second. This is the third. Still looks good. And then finally the fourth. I think that's pretty good. And then also it's a nice stalk size. This is in a kind of a protected location, so I'm not too worried about this busting off so much as like over there. I just think it looks like he's sitting under a lily pad. Alright, zoom back. My water feature. I took out my water hyacinth because it was getting really gross, and I'm wondering if it was kind of tainting the water because everything was, I took off little good pieces of it, so it's kind of sitting there still, broke it off, but my water lettuce, which I've never had issues before, was looking really bad, and after I took it out, it started to get little babies again and branch out, so I'm wondering if it was just not really good for the water. Then I was kind of futzing around with this, and I'll redo it, but I like the sound of it. That's cute. Let's see. More coleus. Begonia. Looks good. I just planted this one up maybe a couple weeks ago. So, doing well. This papyrus grass I had back by my hostas, and I was kind of doing a little test to see if it liked more room to grow or in a pot. Well, it was not thriving, so I pulled it out and I repotted it in this, and it's really bounced back. And I love papyrus grass. One of my favorite containers too. This is just like a no-fail. I love orange too. And then can still kind of see the pot, but at the end of the season, it's going to be where you can't. Let's see. Is that pretty much it? That is it. And this is the same kind over here. So everything's doing really good versus the earwig damage. Then in here I have my hellebores that I'll be planting in the fall. This one really looks good. Getting some leaves there, some new there. This one kind of broke up completely, but you can see it's getting something new. So I'm just leaving it. So hopefully it wasn't too windy and you could hear my video and that you enjoyed this too. But I will keep you updated on how my pots do. Again, I kind of like to do tours of my pots about once a month. That way you can see how they progress after a month of growing. Hopefully we can get a little bit of rain. I haven't had any rain in my rain barrel for over a month now. Been a bit bummed, or any leftover I should say, because I did have a little bit, maybe a fourth in there. Last year I couldn't keep up. It was full. I had to keep draining it. So hopefully you like this video, and I will try and keep you updated on what's blooming and how things are going, and hopefully the thunderstorms don't bring too much damaging winds, but bye for now.